Welcome to another episode of Jam Talk, powered by Teach Jam. I am your host, Adebumi Savage, and today we are super honored to bring you a conversation with Domenic Ashburn, also known as Mr. Grateful. Dominic, welcome.
Thank you. Very nice to be here, Ms. Savage.
We are so happy to have you here. I think this is going to be a super fun conversation because I want to bring you all some dialogue about a controversial topic right now in the ed space, which is what should educators do about ChatGPT in the classroom? Okay?
Yeah.
And in true fashion, I've generated some interview questions for Dominic using ChatGPT. So let's go ahead and get started.
Let's get into it. I'm ready.
So first, Dominic, just give us a little background info about you, your educational journey, what you're currently doing career-wise. Just give us a little insight on who you are.
Of course. I'm Domenic Ashburn. I'm a creator. I'm a founder. I am a visionary. And I am teaching people practical ways how to use artificial intelligence. But more than that, I'm teaching people how to become more mindful human beings, how to open themselves up to the possibilities of the future.
Love that. Thank you, Dominic. The first question I have for you is, what are the potential benefits of integrating artificial intelligence into classrooms?
The benefits of integrating artificial intelligence into classrooms is much more infinite than we can actually imagine right now. But if we want to define those things, the benefits of integrating artificial intelligence, one is personalization for the students themselves. Students are now able to have education and curriculum that is personalized to them and feedback that is personalized to them as well. Teachers are finite because humans are finite. We only have so much time. We only have so much brain capacity. Our brains are not meant to store information and reference it on the fly. Artificial intelligence is. Artificial intelligence has the superpowers of repetition, prediction, and automation. And in this way, we can use artificial intelligence to reference information at any time about any student so we can tailor the curriculum to them. Another benefit of it towards these teachers themselves is actually being able to take away the mundane tasks of teaching so that teachers can spend all of their time doing what they actually enjoy doing, which is typically connecting with the students, telling them stories, letting them tell them stories, being more creative, fostering imagination. Things like that are now possible with artificial intelligence. In my opinion, artificial intelligence makes that whole educational experience more human because we're delegating the things that robots are better at than us so that we can start to do more things that humans are best at.
I love that you seem to speak to prioritizing what's most important in the interactions between student and educator, which are the personalized connections, and leaving all of the rote work to the computers.
Right.
What would you say to people who actually say that text and material generated from AI platforms such as ChatGPT actually spit out banal text, platitudes, things that are not personalized? You spoke about personalization. So what would you say to the dissenters?
What I would say is that in school, most of the answers that you're getting from students anyway is not personalized. Most of the questions that we're asking students aren't personalized anyway. We're still asking them to retrieve information from a book. We're still asking them to retrieve information from something external to them. We are not being introspective. We're not asking for personal stories. We're not asking for the personal opinions. We're still asking them rote memory questions and asking them to retrieve information. That is what AI is good at. So that's what it's going to do. It's going to go out there and spit out platitudes of things that we value. That's how we test human beings right now anyway. So if you have a criticism to that, then you're also criticizing the existing system that we already have.
So how can educators use these platforms to make personalized tasks that require students to do more than recall and reproduction? How how would you approach if you were to open up ChatGPT and try to generate a strategic thinking task or a task that requires augmentation of prior learned information? How do you force the platform to do that?
Well, I try to finesse, not force anything. Okay. Anything that I do, I'm trying to be graceful with it. I'm not trying to force. So especially in the way that I'm teaching things and communicating, I want to be inclusive and understand that how we are integrating this technology is going to be graceful into the systems that we already have, while also making massive change. So nothing should be forced. We should be open to, these new methods and systems, of course, and the new technologies. But if I were to do it, I would do it one of two ways, or maybe both. One is I would start with the artificial intelligence and then build off of it. A lot of times it's a mental model. People are afraid of AI when we believe that it's a linear relationship, when we are just taking our prompt, giving it to an artificial intelligence, and then it ends right there. And the product of the artificial intelligence is what's being used. That is what people don't want. That is why students schools are hesitant to integrate it. But the truth is that the relationship is circular. We have a human AI loop where we are able to give information to artificial intelligence, maybe get some ideas and some inspiration back, and then give feedback to the AI, use what AI gave us to have some critical thinking about that. Maybe we can critique what the AI gave out. Maybe you have an assignment where we use your prior question and we say, okay, generate a story, please. I want you to regenerate chapter 1 of The Great Gatsby, but make it in a less romantic and more angry tone, for example. Now, you as the student need to go in there after you generated that. Now you got to practice with artificial intelligence. Now I want you to go in there and critique the AI and improve it. How can you improve this writing? What would you do differently? And then now you can write that yourself. So it's a circular relationship. This is something that you can go back and forth with. You can be playful with it. It's not a science. It's an art. And it's just a tool that we have similarly to a paintbrush or any other tool that we use as a medium to express our ideas.
Thank you, Dominic. Okay, so a whiteboard takeaway is that when interacting with AI, we should see it as a cyclical process where AI is informing our ideas, and then in turn, we are also informing the generation.
Yes.
The generating of ideas.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I love that. Okay. The next question I have for you is, what are the ethical considerations when using platforms such as ChatGPT for educational purposes?
Well, the things that we can just immediately address the ethical concerns and issues that people have. One is plagiarism. They're worried about, well, if AI is sourcing information from the internet or prior trained data, if I'm giving it a prompt and it's generating something, am I going to get something that is copywritten? Am I going to get something that is already generated by a human? Is that plagiarism by passing something off that AI generated as my own? Another ethical concern is about data. Where is it getting its data? And are we giving it the data that it's then being trained on? Another ethical consideration that schools have with artificial intelligence is if its creativity is genuine or not. If you're using artificial intelligence to be creative, was that really your own human creativity, right? These are definitely questions that just us as humans are going to have to explore for the rest of our existence now, because artificial intelligence exists. So these aren't questions that are going to be answered with a AI policy. They're going to be questions that are answered over years, over decades, over millennia of our relationship with artificial intelligence. But today, OpenAI did have a keynote. It was called Dev Day.
Okay.
And what they released was AI is actually going to provide legal assistance to any company that uses ChatGPT's API if they are ever targeted for a copyright lawsuit, OpenAI will back them with their legal fees and cover that. So they're really putting their money and their word behind the copywritten nature of the data that's actually generated.
Love that. So you shared some general ethical considerations. What is one ethical consideration that you found or reconciling that you're not sure truly where you stand as in regards to the use of artificial intelligence?
That's a good question. I would definitely say an ethical consideration that I still struggle with is face swapping, deep fakes, being somebody that you're not, using somebody's voice, using somebody's likeness without their permission look, like, I am in the process of cloning myself right now. I've cloned my voice. I've had my voice professionally cloned in Poland, and it is 99% accurate to me. I've posted Instagram posts using my voice clone, and not a singular comment asked if it was AI or not. It passes as me. I have generated clones of myself for video. So I can just type in anything that I want to say, and it will look like I can do it with this video right here. I can take 2 minutes of this video, upload it into there, and then it will take my hand movements, how I've been moving my head. It will use my voice clone. It'll make it look like this. You could change this interview afterwards to make me say whatever. Artists, actors are definitely going to have to consider what their stance is on this. It's the reason why Hollywood is having strikes right now, is because they want to clone actors and pay them minimally for their likeness. So that's the one thing that I am investing a lot of time researching and energy and contemplating myself, and treating myself as the first test for my own research by just doing it myself and going through the fire.
So interesting. There was an interesting Netflix movie. It's like Everybody Hates
John.
Yes.
Yeah, on Black Mirror.
Yes.
Yeah, and it was like inception of likeness.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was great.
With Salma Hayek. Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah.
It was basically like the main character was watching herself on TV. She went home and turned on the TV, and she was watching herself first, but then it started to show her past and show things that she was actually doing. So basically her life was on display for the world to see, and it wasn't just her at home, it was everybody could see it. So that's a good episode to watch. And
I feel like in terms of people using your likeness and portraying you in a way that you wouldn't portray yourself, I get that. I get that being a scary thing. But I also think that we all think we're so extraordinary, Like, we all think we're just so extraordinary. And then you go on YouTube and you see 1 million people who are kind of just saying the same thing. And if a script of whatever they were about to say was generated from AI, it would sound like exactly what they're all saying. So I don't know. That's just going off on a tangent, but...
Well, no, I think that, I'm using this as long as you can control who has your likeness. As long as you can control who is using it. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to delegate my likeness to hundreds of people. I mean, imagine if you went on YouTube and you went to fashion, music, technology, space, cooking, yoga. You can go to any of these topics and you see Mr. Grateful there talking about it. And I didn't say any of it. I have a team of people who are generating videos with education that I don't know, but in my likeness. And that way, my likeness is my brand. That's my superpower.
Exactly. And that's really the only thing you can control. That really, I get it. I feel like ChatGPT is one of the most commonly referred to platforms in the education space, but let's talk about some other platforms that are underutilized that you've come across that you would like people to explore further.
Okay. You know, a lot of people, I get asked that question a lot, where people want to kind of branch out and go wide and look at different tools, especially, you know, in the education space. The hesitancy that I have to tell anybody about tools outside of ChatGPT is that every one of those tools is built on ChatGPT's infrastructure.
Okay.
It's built on, and ChatGPT's infrastructure is like built with Microsoft. And, you know, Microsoft is a giant. These two companies together are massive and they're powerful. And it means that any of the features that you can find in these other companies, ChatGPT can start to integrate it into their own platform.
They're just derivatives.
They're derivatives.
Okay.
100%. So my advice always is to just go deep on ChatGPT rather than to go wide and try to, you know, collect a bunch of different tools. My advice is definitely to go deep on ChatGPT, get really good with it, learn it, and over time those features will start to be added. What is underutilized, I think, though, outside of ChatGPT, well, now within ChatGPT with DALL-E being integrated into it, but is image generation for application. A lot of times image generation is used for, you know, creative means for like web pages and things like that, but it can definitely be used as an ideation tool as well to foster like children's imagination and allow them to see their ideas in ways that was never possible before. A 7-year-old cannot use Blender and and create a 3D model of the product that they have in their head, but they can use ChatGPT and just type in the words that come to their mind about their imagination and have an image of that generated.
So cool.
That's incredible.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah.
ChatGPT has helped me in grad school, but there are limitations.
There are limitations.
I'm doing a qualitative study and I asked it to code a transcript for me, and it just gave me themes. I was like, yeah, based on this transcript, here's some themes, but we can't code it for you. It also won't give you any direct quotes from like Shine or Max Weber.
Why did you get a quote from Shine?
Or Adam Smith. I need quotes. I need to write a really good paper, you know? There are limitations. So I think it's good to get your juices flowing. And I think the limitations are great. Yeah. I think the limitations keep the human experience and the personalized experience
for sure
going.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, we have to remember too that the AI that we have today is the worst AI we'll ever use.
Right.
It's going to continue to improve, and its limitations are going to continue to dissolve.
Just like we're the worst we'll ever be. I think if we look at ourselves as entities, machines, we are learning machines.
Yes.
And you know, we're only going to get smarter and more skilled and, you know. Yeah.
The problem, though, with that is that we do have ingrained subconscious behaviors that were established in us, you know, millennia ago that are really what make us human. Yeah. Right? ChatGPT, and they can change their entire infrastructure, change everything about them. They have no habitual subconscious that needs to be fed. It can change on a whim. We still have survival mechanisms within us that need to be, you know, met and addressed on a daily basis. Yeah.
Some say we are a virus. Being human is being a virus.
Yeah. Have you seen The Matrix?
Yeah.
Where he's talking to Morpheus in the chair, the agent, and he's like, you humans are similar to one thing. You spread and you take over things, and wherever you go, you consume, and when you consume everything there, you move on.
Yeah. I want to bring you back to talk to some of our educators, because I think we should embrace these advancements in technology. I think it's just so foolish to try to, you know, at one point people thought airplanes were freaking witchcraft. Like, come on. Yeah. Can't even go to Bali. If you like, how are you going to have that Instagram vacation? Yeah. You know, so I think it's smart to embrace new innovations.
It is. Yeah, you know, we can be compared to a lot of bad things, you know, like viruses, or, you know, we can pick out our fears and the pattern of fears that we have, you know, as a race, but as a human race. But ultimately, like, artificial intelligence is simply exposing what makes us human, and it's giving us space to be more human because it is doing the repetitive robotic things. And I'm not excited to see, I've been removing excited from my vocabulary.
Why?
Because in excitement, when you're in a state of excitement, you make bad decisions.
Fervor.
Yeah, fervor, 100%. Yeah.
If you replace it, isn't it just...
It's 100%.
Yeah.
And excitement feels a lot like anxiety too.
Yeah.
So I just try to approach calmly, you know. So I am calmly approaching the experiences that humans are going to create with this new tool. It's going to allow them to visualize and create the imaginations and the visions that they have, you know, without the limitations. The barriers have been completely broken down. And I think our job right now as a principal and teachers is to give those tools to children so that they can start, you know, now. And once they get to a position where they can start to build things on their own and make things and contribute to society in a larger way, they're going to create a world that we've never seen before. And I think it's going to be incredibly beautiful.
I agree. I want to end with this last question because you're very insightful. You know that book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. What would you say are the 7 habits of highly intelligent people?
Stephen Covey, yeah.
Yeah. But let's replace effective with intelligence.
Highly intelligent people.
What do highly intelligent people do?
Well, intelligence, like...
Define it however you will.
Yeah. Well, I want to start with how I used to know intelligence, which was pattern recognition. Like on IQ tests, a huge section of the IQ test is pattern recognition, being able to make judgments based on past data. The thing is that that's what AI is best at. That's exactly why AI is successful, is because it's able to take petabytes of data, and a petabyte of data is like 1.3 billion books. So it can take petabytes of data and find patterns within that, which is how it knows to give you the words that you're using or the words that it responds with. So intelligence, we have to reframe what intelligence means now when it comes to human beings. And I think that we can lean more on EQ now, on emotional intelligence, and being able to interact with humans and each other a bit more. When to say what to the person that's in front of you, how to be empathetic. So I would say empathy. I'd say self-actualization.
That's my favorite word.
Yeah.
It's my favorite term since high school.
Really, self-actualization. Yeah. I think that it was the highest attainment.
Yes.
And, you know, in like Maslow's hierarchy, that's self-actualization is the highest attainment that you can have. So actualization of your desires, of your own habits, recognizing your own patterns, and then recognizing other patterns and being empathetic to them.
I want to just keep tally for you. Empathy, self-actualization.
Self-actualization. I would say communication as well. We have to be able to communicate not only to other human beings, but to artificial intelligence to see, you know, what to describe what we want. In a world where you can basically manifest anything instantly, you have to know what it is that you want. That's why our brains have a limit on how quickly we can manifest things, because a lot of us live in fear. And if we lived in fear constantly, we'd constantly be manifesting our fears as well. You can manifest $1 million, but you can also manifest the monster that you think is in the closet, right? So there's a limit to how quickly you can manifest things in your life. With artificial intelligence, it's instant. We can instantly generate text right now. We can instantly generate videos and images. Now we're working on generating 3D things like actual objects. What else will we be able to generate and essentially manifest in the physical world that quickly, right? So we have to be able to communicate. Communication is a huge part of human intelligence. Self-expression as well, being able to express who you are to other human beings. I have to say that comes to fashion, you know, clothing, you know, just your face, your hair, like how you express yourself is going to be important in intelligence, because you need to understand how others perceive you. Your discipline is going to be a sign of intelligence. How you treat yourself, how healthy you are.
Right.
That's going to be, that is going to be up there on the what's it called? What's the book?
Seven practices of highly effective people.
Practices?
Yeah.
Is that the word? Okay.
I think so.
All right.
7 habits.
Habits. Okay. Yeah, that's one of the habits.
I think discipline is preservation, it's protection, self-love. Really is. I think you count macros, you exercise every day, you walk.
Yeah.
It's preservation.
Yeah.
Like, do you love yourself enough to live well? So
You're destructive.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree with that one hardcore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess a lot of people have that question with artificial intelligence too. Is artificial intelligence a way of self-preservation as a human species, or is it self-destruction? I'm saying, is artificial intelligence, is it alcohol or is it a smoothie? You know what I'm saying? And is it a fixed thing, or is it dependent on how a person is using it?
Yeah.
Right? These are questions that you want to ask when, you know, we're researching artificial intelligence as well. Is what does it mean to us? How are we using it? It can be weaponized, and it can also be used to, you know, visualize the imagination of a 7-year-old's dreams. So
beautiful. Let's keep going. We have empathy, self-actualization, communication, expression, self-expression specifically, and discipline.
Yeah, we got 2 more. Intelligence, intelligence comes from your ability to connect with absolute intelligence as well. That's the other AI, is absolute intelligence. The intelligence that you can recognize when you have a creative idea and you don't know where it came from, and it just kind of comes to you.
Yeah.
Being able to tap into that and connect to that absolute intelligence that feeds you those ideas and that inspiration from within. Once you can tap into that, you are infinitely intelligent as well. So that has to be on the top of the list.
Is to be human to self-actualize or to manifest destiny?
I think that when you self-actualize, it doesn't matter anymore.
What doesn't matter anymore?
Destiny. Because you're okay with who you are. You know what you want. Yeah. You're in this flow of manifesting your desires, but also letting go of what you know you can't control, which you can write off as destiny if you want to. But if you're self-actualized, the manifesting the destiny part, it becomes just one, and so it falls away. It doesn't matter. So.
With what you referenced just now, absolute intelligence, I'm thinking if like there's an idea that comes to you and you really don't know where that idea came from, like where it was derived, what are you in control of that?
Right. Like right now, to whoever's watching, I guess, and to you, we can do this. If we just sit for a moment and just pay attention to the next thought that comes into our mind, we just take like 3 seconds. You'll have a thought in 3 seconds. Maybe you just got aware of the sounds out there, and that's the first thing you thought of. Did you think that thought before it came to you? Did you control what your next thought was going to be?
I think so.
Or did the thought arise? Did the thought appear?
I think there's being alert, and then I think there's being attentive.
Okay.
And I think when you're alert, things come to you. But I think when you're attentive, you target what to listen to and for. So I think it's both.
There's 2 different like modes that you can get into.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like alert, I'm listening for anything. If I'm attentive and there are conversations happening in this room, I can choose what to attend to, and all of a sudden everything else becomes a din. I've practiced that sometimes. And I'm like, I'm standing equidistant, but I'm only hearing one conversation because that's the one I'm attending to for whatever motivation.
The power of attention.
Yeah.
The power of directing attention.
Yeah.
That's the 7th one.
Attention.
Directing attention. Absolutely. Especially in the age of social media and iPhones where we have a drug in our pockets all the time. you have to be able to control your attention and to place it where you believe is best, that aligns with your intentions and your emotions. Aligning your attention with what you want and what you value in life. That's number 7.
I think that's something you seem like, just by what I'm reading from you, I feel like that's something you've either mastered or you're on your way to mastering, is being super deliberate with what you choose to attend to. Because I think that's the only way you achieve like calm and focus and direction.
Absolutely.
I'm going to practice that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something that's helped me to do that actually is welcoming spontaneity in my life. I think by welcoming spontaneity, I'm actually able to remove the fear of missing out, which allows me to direct my attention a bit more. Sometimes we scroll social media just because we fear missing out on what's going on, or we go to that event because we fear of missing out on what's going to be there. But kind of just allowing spontaneity instead of having this battle, like this force with your attention, and just kind of letting it and being attentive to it. That's my approach, and that's what's worked for me, and to keep me in a very calm state instead of fervor.
Love that. Okay, let's recap. 7 habits of highly intelligent humans.
Yes.
Okay. So we have empathy, we have self-actualization, we have communication, self-expression, discipline. I'm forgetting the 6th.
Absolute intelligence.
Connecting and recognizing when it's not your own intelligence, but it must be coming from somewhere else. And then the last one is being able to direct your attention.
Absolutely.
I'm going to write that down, all of these.
Thank you for asking that question. That was very self-reflective for me as well.
Love that.
I realized that I had been living by that code, but I had never articulated it. So I appreciate you asking me. It could be, actually. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, it could be. I like that.
Thank you, Dominic.
I'll have ChatGPT write it tonight.
It's been nice chatting with you.
Very nice to chat with you.
Welcome.
As well.
This will not be your last Jam Talk. I'm sure of it.
I hope not.
No,
you guys were amazing. Yeah, you had it jumping. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So this was another episode of Jam Talk. I'm your host, Adebumi Savage. And please connect with Domenic Ashburn, also known as Mr. Grateful, via Instagram or other social media platforms. Where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Mr. Grateful, Mr.Grateful.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.